Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Stellaris. Our lovely Savantian coalition has pretty much expanded as much as it can. We've got a little bit more that we're going to try and push around this neck of the woods. We're trying to hem in the Valkylian assembly. We made first contact at the end of the last episode. And
System survey complete.
Let's slow down a teeny bit. That's a bit too fast. You're already moving on to the next. Great. We've got our first Ascension perk, which means we have plenty of envoys available, and we are just about getting a little bit of monthly influence, but not a huge amount, because we have a fair amount of pacts with our lovely giant neighbour, the Royal Pious Alliance over here. They are pretty hefty, at least in terms of position in the victory chart. I suspect probably there's only really ancient empires above them. However, we're not really in much of a position to investigate and determine beyond that. You're going to carry on exploring and surveying, so we'll just get that all queued up. We're in the process of building our Grand Archive. That's 94% done. And of course we're building our mining stations up here to then finish rounding out the resources we can get.
Council agenda ready.
Ooh, cool. Chart the Unknown is ready. That's going to improve our survey speed quite significantly. Our next agenda, I feel like we're going to need open arms to really lean into who we are as a people. I don't think progressive growth really is going to set us aside much, and evolving society for the unity is nice, but not really necessary. Let's go with open arms. So right away this gives us a small benefit: extra trade, Xenophile ethics attraction, and a bit of automatic resettlement chance. And that is the third agenda, which pushes us along on the Empire focus as well. Despite having exploration as our focus, we are still having a lot of conquest and development ones that are coming in. And if we end up getting a second fleet, we'll probably hire a commander quite quickly and easily. Right. Now, the Sadie aliens, we know that they are I can't pull back just yet. Okay, an investigation into the peculiar cluster of debris and space dust previously dubbed the Sadie aliens has yielded a surprising result. It is a particular cloud bristling with a powerful charge of unknown origin that has no business exhibiting simple reflexive actions, let alone movements with purpose. And yet it does. There's something undeniably ominous about the hazy subject of the relayed video feeds. Perhaps there are things in the universe we should not tangle with. This is giving us a bit of influence, which is always nice. But it gives us the special project Cloud Study.
They can talk, and they want to talk to us.
Okay. Let's have a look at our special project. Okay, this is just going to cost us research. We could do this. I don't mind putting our physics research on hold. It is going to potentially slow down our military development, but I think in the grand scheme of things, that's probably fine. Are you on your last mining station? Yes, you are. After you're done with that, come and build this starbase. How is our archive doing? 97%. It is almost there. 98. So close. we have the mega structure. Let's go in and have a look at it. This is our grand archive. A dedicated orbital structure designed to house and displays noteworthy specimens we've collected throughout the galaxy, and we do have enough to actually find another one. So, it's costing us 10 to exhibit. 10 upkeep as a whole. We can exhibit explicit things which will cost additional upkeep. So let's do that. So we'll turn that one on, turn that one on, turn that one on, and we'll turn this one on. So that's 8. But we're potentially getting more credits after having that activated. So that has pretty much wiped out all of our energy credit production. We are still getting some. But between this costing 10 and each of them costing 2 each, it's taken all we've got. Ooh, if we save up a little bit, we can get another precursor in sight. I'm not completely against that. Energy credits from energy drops plus 2%. We're only getting 40 from jobs. So this is not yet giving us a worthwhile trade-off. Let's unexhibit it for right now.
Anomaly found.
Okay, and we'll go through and deal with each of the things that have happened. So, first of all, our chairwoman now can pick a veterancy. We can become a delegate, which will give us extra diplomatic weight. We could be an industrialist, which will give us specialist output and pop amenity usage. An ambassador, good for trust growth. An advisor, good for trade. I think an industrialist works well for right now. So we'll select that. And then we have the anomaly in the background, which we'll just get that investigating. And separately, recently, Uriel Tulpan has grown increasingly withdrawn. Once again, she's requesting permission to return home, and we don't quite have the unity to keep her. So it may be time to let her go. We'll get that being investigated, and then we'll let it finish, and then we will keep our word. Oh god. Couple of things going on. So, the cruelty of the Sigma aliens. Our explorers knew the first contact to be a dangerous affair, but none could have predicted just how this would be. In a violent assault, the Sigma aliens have seized our vessel, landing a boarding party before emergency FTL could be engaged. Despite our crew's valiant efforts, the attackers, a lithoid alien species, were able to overwhelm our defences. Perhaps fortunately, both for them and for the sake of keeping information from the enemy hands, our crew took their own lives rather than permit themselves to be captured. However, we must assume that our assailants will soon find out much about us by studying our vessel. The hostilities are inevitable when faced with a civilization that would act like this. That is indeed worrying. So we've lost a scientist and a science vessel. So yeah, CVSS Xenophile has been destroyed. Alright, if we're doing each of that, then we will just accept that we're going to lose our lovely, lovely friend. This is giving us an open council position as well. So the Master of Guidance, we don't have one anymore. We could get ourselves a... Ooh, Xenophile has kind of stepped in. Yeah, let's put Xenophile there. We do need a new scientist. And in theory... we're going to need another ship as well. Okay, we'll close that off for a second. And let's go through and sort other stuff out. So there's not really much for a construction ship to do down here. Let's bring a construction ship up this way. Is it worth us getting an extra science ship? It probably is. So there's a science ship on the go. That is being investigated. Or will be investigated, I should say. No, you need to stay and excavate. We will get that anomaly investigated by the newbie when they are built. Our Master of Guidance has got a veterancy. Currently doing archaeological stuff. Being a scholar... fits in with that quite nicely. So we'll carry that on. I'm so sad that we lost not just like one solid leader, but two leaders in quick succession. That is unfortunately the nature of this game. One of our city districts has finished building. That's good. All of our little focus cards getting ticked off. How is the cloud study coming along? 29 months. Interesting that it doesn't actually feel like our energy credits have changed in terms of jobs, but that's something we're going to have to look at. New science ship. Let's get a new leader. Survey speed up. That feels applicable. So we'll hire you. You are rank 3, and you do cost a little bit more. You know, we'll get the youngling. And our brand spanking new youngling can become... You know what? Get an eye for talent. That'll be fine. You're not going to be a councillor anytime soon, but you might eventually become one. In fact, if we go to our government just to have a check, our current Master of Guidance doesn't really have any benefits for being a councillor. So we will switch across. That's all sorted. And then, yes, come and investigate. Archaeological site down here. The robots. RPCHN does not seem to have been simply a dumping ground for broken droids. It may have served as the actual battlefield where they were destroyed. Many layers of debris suggest a series of very intense battles waged intermittently across the better part of 2 centuries. Exactly why 2 interstellar powers would commit such vast resources towards waging a massive ground war on a small and unremarkable asteroid remains an unanswered question. Okay, well, we're going to carry on investigating that. Each of these feels worthwhile, except for the castaway robot right now. Let's do another artifact analysis. Ooh. This reduces our leader upkeep, or would reduce our leader upkeep, which is kind of interesting. Our leaders don't cost energy credits to upkeep. So that's fine in itself. Let's have a look down here. I think we want more generator districts. And up here, where we're getting our new territory, this is going to help shore things up a little bit. You can actually come all the way to here. Let's bring you all the way up. The Sigma aliens. Colony, or perhaps even the homeworld of the aliens we've designated as the Sigma aliens, has been reported in the Boixterdom system. Several large settlements are present on the surface of a PC star-age planet. Obviously, that's supposed to be a variable that's been not put in correctly. They caught our attention. This exciting discovery has taught us even more about these fascinating aliens who are clearly part of a spacefaring civilization. Think of what else we might find out once their language has been translated. Ooh, they are hostile, but there is a buffer between us and them, because they're down in this neck of the woods, and that's where I've lost my my lovely exploration science ship. I could have sworn I'd assigned all of... Oh no, we had one that was not assigned, didn't we? Okay, well, we may as well get the other cheap scientist, seeing as we have space for it. We'll give you a trait. Both of these would be useful if you're on the council, but we'll go with the leader trait. And we will set this ship off exploring. I don't know if it's worth us really pushing down into this part of the galaxy. However, I think it probably is, because we could find anomalies and things, and that's really where the value is. Pushing up this way is going to be vital, but slightly less so.
Construction.
Empire sprawl is a measure of the territorial expanse of your empire.
Our empire size has just breached 100. So things are going to start getting ever so slightly more expensive. Get the mining station there. Our energy credits are low. And this is a point where we're going to have to start offsetting and selling and trading in order to keep on top of things. We found an abandoned amusement park. The structure on Bananda 3A, and not as old as we first believed, is a playground or amusement park of some sort. The science officer, Vicar O'Fliven, notes that many of the contraptions are highly complex creations that we can learn much from, and that from builders of Alien's point of view, this might have been cutting-edge sensor array, or even a giant art installation. Regardless, it merely looks like a place where you take your young and let them amuse themselves. So this is giving us a new specimen that we might have a look at. So it's an aesthetic wonder. I don't think it's worth us holding on to. Improving our infrastructure build speed isn't really worth it, so we'll just sell that and use the money for other things. I mean, there's something to be said about also selling the political memoirs, but now that we've gone over 100%, over 100 of our empire size, we are going to feel that increase in upkeep. So everything we can do to stave off the inevitable collapse and bankruptcy is going to be worthwhile. Carry on surveying the system, and then once you're done, come and survey. In fact, no, do this one and then up and round. I am a little bit apprehensive sending one of our ships back down here to explore the area, but I think it's the right thing to do. I wonder if we have any specialist things that would give us energy credits. We've got ones for hydroponics, we've got ones for consumer goods and alloys, but I don't think we've got anything for energy credits yet. Really, that's going to come down to research as much as anything. But technology is moving at the pace it moves. We've got mining subsidies on the way. I want the energy ones.
Fleeing aggressors.
Okay, CBS Bytrix is actively running away from hostile aliens down here, so we know that their empire is down in the UNAC system as well. That means you're going to have a hard time pushing into that area. Let's come down here instead.
Handshake protocols activated.
Ooh, a defensive pact. If either empire is attacked, the other will automatically come to defense. It's a nice idea. It would potentially make it a bit harder for other empires to declare war on us. So yeah, we'll agree to that. Let's have a look at our contacts. 349. So this hasn't changed at all. This is going up. Not super fast, but it is still going up. Our intel is gradually increasing. with them. Let's have a look
Now
at the
that our
espionage on
spy
our
network
friends.
has reached a sufficient level, we may launch operation.
So, with our lovely friends, our spy network influence has hit 35, so we could do things like gather information. It'll increase our maximum infiltration level for a while. However, it's not going to give us any immediate benefit other than that. So I think I'll wait until we're up to 50 before we do that. We're almost at the point where we'll be able to get some more details. Establish positive relationship, tick. Find alien life, tick. Sign scientist as governor, tick. Level up a scientist. All of these Empire things already done.
System survey complete.
Great. Take it. And you're pushing on exactly as we would expect. Get Enclave research support. Well, we'd need to find the Enclave aliens for that one. So that might be a little bit of time. Ooh, are we slowly losing? Yes, we are. Okay, we might need to... Oh, the defensive pact is 2.
Construction complete.
Yowza. Okay, well... Might have to cancel
Through the
that
claims
then.
interface, we can spend influence to lay claim to star systems owned by others. Having a claim on a system gives us a...
Yeah, go away. I understand that. Let's,
One of our envoys is now built.
Let's go into the diplomacy, and I think we're going to have to break the defensive pact. We could break the commercial pact, actually. We'd need to break 2 of them if we're going to end up positive in terms of influence. So we could break the migration pact and the commercial pact. Okay, breaking the commercial pact and breaking the migration treaty. That should bring our influence back under control. And
The election
we have a
screen is where we
new
decide on a new ruler.
election on the way. Okay. We can spend unity to elect one of the candidates. If we don't interfere, a random candidate will be elected. I'm fine with a random one, honestly. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a bad thing, so we'll let that just run its course. And we can use the unity that we've been saving. Ooh. We have successfully deciphered the Circulaton Multistellar. Or at least they've successfully translated our language. They're a mega corporation. Greetings. I speak for Chief Executive Officer Moore Spar and the wealthy elite of the Circulaton Multistellar. We're always looking for new trading partners, and hopefully we can come to some sort of accommodation that will benefit commerce in both nations. Yeah, we've got much to gain from this encounter. Spiritualist and militarist. So, not sure exactly how friendly they're going to be. But this whole area down here is clearly secured. Ruthless capitalists. Yeah. We could send an envoy over to them. And actually, this is something that we can now take a look at in terms of policies and edicts. So, our diplomatic stance is isolationist, which has been giving us more unity. That's great. However, it's going to be worth us switching to cooperative, we're not looking to harm relations or anything like that. It's going to reduce our border friction, it's going to make things a little bit better for us, and it's going to be easier for us to improve our relations. So let's change. I would love to do the research subsidies, but we don't have the energy cost, so that's not gonna be able to happen. Our trade policy is all about wealth creation. That's good. We have a lot of money, so we're not really going to be in any trouble. And I think we've got good income for alloys and all of that as well, so... we're in as good a place as we can be with that. So, up here, we have 2 ships in the sector. You can get the mining stations going. The other construction ship, bring up this way. We do have enough influence.
Research complete.
Unspent trait points. There are species with unspent trait points in our empire. Oh, because we've learned epigenetic triggers. Which means we can uplift. Ooh. Okay, this is going to be very interesting. So we're going to learn xenolinguistics. That's going to allow us to get renowned leaders potentially, which is good. And we're almost completely there.
The species screen lists all types of nominally intelligent beings we have encountered. We can toggle species to display only citizens of our empire.
Okay, so how are we going to go through and assign... Oh, we would uplift them. I see. Well, I want to do that for each of them. Can we only do one at a time is the question. So yeah, they're trait points and trait picks. Technically, none of these do have trait points available. But the Evocarian are pretty habitable everywhere. Let's uplift the Evocarian.
Situation log updated.
In fact, we're going to want to do this with each of them. Yeah, that gives us special projects available to do. Oh, and it'll time out if we don't start it. So, xenolinguistics, how long is that going to take? That's going to take 10 months. I think we wait for xenolinguistics to be done and then we do the uplift. I think that's the smarter choice.
Handshake protocols activated.
You want a commercial pack? No, we're not doing that, I'm afraid. That defensive pact is actually
Handshake
cheaper
protocols
now.
activated.
Yeah, the Evocarians of the Jorkalite and the Rampolian have got unspent trait points according to that, but down here they don't. That's probably because we would need to uplift them in order to have that be a thing. Okay, well, we can ignore them for right now. Migration treaty, no, we're going to ignore that as well. It does look like this would be the end of the line for our neighbours to be able to come round. And I think they are trying to take the system before we can. Fortunately, the system is not fully surveyed, so they are going to get in before us. We're not technically at war with them, so bringing in...
System survey complete.
Now it's done. Try it. I don't think this is going to succeed, but we're not going to be able to bring in... come and survey the system down here. We're not going to be able to bring in our attack fleet and like scare them off or anything. That's not how that would work. It means that Ban Unda may be our other frontline area. This all extends much further down around that outside area. That's kind of cool to see. We are behind them, so I don't think that's gonna happen. What have we got? We have an idle leader. Oh, because we've had a new election. So, Reno Ibn. Principled and eye for talent, but not much else. What are we going to do with you? We could dismiss you. You've been fine. But you're not going to be useful as the Minister of State. Maybe we put you on a specific planet? As a planet governor, it'll give a bit more in terms of basic resources. So sure, let's do that. Therefore, we have an open council position for the head of research, because our previous head of research has moved across. For right now, none of these have ultra use on the council, so we'll just put in someone who is a higher level, so Xenophile can step on in to that role. And that's where we are with that. Yep, that's what I thought. They've taken it, and our lovely construction ship is now missing in action. They will be back. I'm glad I got our science ship out of the way. But that's a little bit of a shame. I assume this might connect up round the back, so we'll have to find that out. You're on your way up that way. You're building mining stations. We should probably consider reinforcing this starbase as well. Not expecting a war, but these things can happen. In the meantime, first contact with the Jataxibot continuance. Biological civilization detected. Initiate custodial protocol 46 subroutine Alpha 8. Message follows. Greetings, organic sapiens. We are approaching Jaxitadobot continuous territory. These systems serve as a refuge for sapient organics against the error data block corrupted threat. For refugee status applications, proceed to central processing. All sapient organic specimens are welcome on the basis of availability and need. Notice, hostile actions against refugees or custodian systems will be met with maximum available force and deployment. Well, they don't care what we're going to say, so we'll say love is friendship. And we will pause that because it looks like we've finished the archaeological dig down at Dewtrap. That's cool. Our archaeologists have learned that after a long and bitter war, the two empires inhabiting this corner of the galaxy some 200,000 years ago signed a treaty compelling them to settle all future disputes with arranged and highly regulated combat engagements between robotic armies. Amazing. So they did robot jocks. RVCHN was chosen as the site of these battles, and the treaty appears to have been upheld for nearly 2 centuries, preventing the outbreak of armed hostilities on numerous occasions, until one of the empires was caught cheating. It's giving us a batch of engineering research and ancient macro batteries. Curious indeed, as a research option. Well, that means that we have our science ship available to do something else. So let's come up and finish surveying and exploring this part. That void cloud I am slightly terrified about. So we'll do that. That's going to sort out that section. How far away are we from xenolinguistics? 6 months. We are positive on our energy credit usage right now. Ooh, a new resource on the CVSS Bitrix. That's down all the way on the other end. There it is, volatile modes. Down in the Tebong system, they contain immense energy, with applications ranging from energy production and fuel to explosives. We cannot extract the resource yet, but we could establish control over the system for future exploitation. We're sure to find more of these types of resources as we continue to explore. And the Jataxi Vox Continuance, which I'm assuming is down here. Yeah, there they are. Has got open borders with us. So that's lovely of them. Right. Our construction ship has returned, which is it's still missing in action. Hasn't yet returned. I completely misunderstood that. It will... Oh my god, that's going to be 2 years before it's back. That is quite painful. Void unclouded.
Special project complete.
Finally, we know what's going on here. So the void clouds are, as far as Savantian researchers can tell, among the oldest entities in the universe. They seem to have originated just a scant few billion years after matter as we know it first appeared. Tremendous forces of the young cosmos making something out of nothing. They would have been stars once, but were not. Explaining their apparent animal intelligence is more difficult, but the answers might lie in the abnormally strong electromagnetic fields that keep them together. Another product of their primordial beginnings. It's not inconceivable that given enough time, circulation of the strange stardust and gravitic fields aligned in a flexible approximation of neural pathways. Moreover, the clouds seem to be receiving impulses from one another, if not outright communicating, light years apart. Quantum entanglement is suspected to play a role in the phenomenon. Let's go with humbling. I don't think we need to kill them better, because we're not actively going to try and kill them often. We do have a veterancy for our chairwoman. Given you're on the council, let's go for statistician. That will work quite nicely. I am sad about having a chairwoman who is incredibly gullible, but that is unfortunately the way these things can go. With even more money, I'm wondering whether it's worth us looking at doing more artifacts and things. Oh wow, the Jataxi bots, they're a proper ancient race, okay. So they're not likely to shift around anytime soon. Now, my question is it worth us now looking to reduce our leader cost, or spend some on the energy credits? I don't think it is. Not yet. And the upkeep is just increasing as our sprawl is increasing. Which I like conceptually, but it's very expensive. We'll be able to get a new artifact in a moment. Scientist from Haven is requested to join us on Sheltered Reach. Or Xenophile styles themselves as a martyr. In travelling to our doomed world, he hopes to preserve our technology from destruction by outside forces. He'll be the recipient of a prestigious award on Sheltered Reach for academic excellence. We've also agreed to stay with us for a while. It is always nice having extra scientists. However, this would put us over our science cap. Because we're already at 4, so... Sorry, not this time. I learned my lesson. I very much would have liked to, but...
Research complete.
There we go, there's the mining subsidies. So, new research. Let's start pushing towards weapons. And we'll have xenolinguistics done in a matter of moments as well. There is a lot of things to survey in that place. Actually, that's going to be a while, so before you do that, come and get some minor artifacts for us. I think that's a smart choice.
Research complete.
Speaking of minor artifacts, let's get the artifact analysis and see what we find. Perfectly faceted carbon. So this is going to produce engineering research. I think that's worth it. So we've got 15 engineering research coming in from our little artifacts. That's really cool. Exceptional individuals. We've proven beyond any doubt that the galaxy is filled with life. Apart from the dominant species and nations, there are many others who traverse the stars. And from time to time, exceptional individuals may arise to shake the foundations of galactic power. If we can harness their ambition, these renowned leaders may be willing to join our cause. Well, new research. Oh, these are big. These are massive. I do want to to research them. That's going to take a long time. But we're going to be doing uplift, so that's not too much of a problem. Let's uplift the chalk lights.
Situation log updated.
And we'll start that going right now. So that's going to be 63 months for us to uplift our first species. But that is going to be all we have time for today. Thank you very much for coming along, everyone. I do hope you are continuing to enjoy this. As always, if you are, be sure to give a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so, and you'll be told when the next episode goes live. Otherwise, I'll see you next time for another episode of Stellaris. See you soon.